Christian and Muslim religious leaders in Singapore met earlier today to reaffirm the mutual trust and understanding between the two religious communities. They also condemned the plot by a Protestant Christian youth to attack Muslims at two mosques here. The meeting was held at the Yusof Ishak Mosque in Woodlands, one of the two sites targeted by the 16-year-old Singaporean Indian. And joining us now is Rev Keith Lai, President of the National Council of Churches Singapore, and Dr. Muhammad Hannan, Deputy Mufti of the Islamic Religious Council of Singapore, or MUIS. Now, gentlemen, thanks for joining us here on Singapore Today. And the news of this plot has come to a shock to many of us. How have the Christian and Muslim communities been reacting to this news over the past 24 hours? Perhaps let's start with you, Reverend Lai.
My first reaction was one of shock, disbelief, and grief when I heard the news, especially lamenting at the thought that such horrendous plans coming from a young man and dreadful consequences if he succeeded. But at the same time, I'm extremely grateful for the timely intervention of our government authorities. It's a relief that this young man's scheme was stopped before he could carry out his plan. And it's also a relief for us to know that he was not inspired by any local preachers, pastors, or churches' teaching, which is completely contrary to the teachings of the Bible. And so I really appreciate what the government has done so efficiently. And our Muslim friends have responded very graciously, calmly, rationally, because we have a long-standing relationship that has taken many years to grow in that bond. Yes.
Yeah.
What about you,
So
Dr. Hannan?
Yeah, I mean, as Reverend just said just now, I think we are very fortunate that we have invested and deposited significantly to our community's emotional bank and our trust reserves the past many decades. Just like COVID, we need to draw from our reserves. This time, we are drawing from our reserves. And it is during times such as this that we retreat to and are able to draw from our reserves. I think we hold each other in really deep respect, that mutual trust and meaningful friendship. We know that this does not in any way speaks of the community. We understand as a community that often needed to explain ourselves and what Islam truly represents. We empathize because I remember months ago during the same interview here, having to explain ourselves. So we truly empathize our colleagues, our Christian friends. Yesterday, I had a very good conversation yesterday with a number of Christian leaders. The mutual reassurance is simply amazing. I was at an event celebrating the partnerships of various groups in support of our guest workers and the vulnerables during the COVID last year. Here, during the COVID, we really witnessed real humanity, regardless of one's race or religion. We all came together to support each other. It was simply amazing. And this is the kind of story that needed to be told and be amplified. And not just a single incident and that one unfortunate. So this morning, as Reverend mentioned, Mufti met our religious leaders to assure them and to assuage the fears as well as anxieties. And this will further cement our relationship and our mutual trust. And I trust this will continue to grow stronger. We have done so during COVID. We can and we will continue to do this.
Yes, indeed. Now, this teenager, he prepared two documents, two manifestos, and he wanted to spread them. He wanted to disseminate them. And one of these manifestos was unfinished, but it stated his belief, and we quote him, "Violence should never be solved with peace." What would you say to that? He's just 16.
Oh, gosh. I think ignorance really breeds fears. The way we all fear things we don't understand, and this fear will in turn breed hatred. We hate things we are afraid of. We hate things that we do not know. If only he could have talked to the right people, get to know in person the right people, befriend the right people, instead of resorting to the social media or the internet. It was just unfortunate that he was influenced by foreign sources. But we are fortunate to learn that this does not come from our local sources. No, he was influenced by foreign sources. These hate speeches. So instead of checking and verifying this, he acted on these foreign hate speeches. However, having said all this, I'm really optimistic that given the opportunity, this young boy will get to discover and learn.
Yes.
Religious organizations in Singapore have been asked to be more vigilant after this case. What is NCCS and MUIS doing in this regard? Perhaps, Reverend, you can start.
I think it was a good time this morning in our dialogue with the Muslim friends and leaders that this is a wake-up call for us to be more intentional in engaging our teenagers. We need to enter into their world. We need to understand how they process their emotions. And I think it was good in that we are looking forward to how we can work closely together to come up with resources, combine efforts to engage our young people. And I think this is something that has come out of this unfortunate event, to celebrate our diversity and stand in solidarity. I think that's what, we're going to do more of that.
Yes, we will certainly do more. I think as a community, we have done a great deal, actually. But we will continue to do so. I mean, just for examples, the Moises Harmony Center, for more than decades, we have been working very closely with our faith leaders and communities. The Religious Rehabilitation Group, or the RRG, is also an example of such efforts. RRG started as a rehabilitation group, but now it is reaching out to the youth. It's taking a proactive steps. At MUIS, we have what we call the Asatizah Youth Network, the AYN. This comprises of young Asatizah to provide right content online. And as Reverend Keith mentioned earlier, in mosque, we have the Youth Development Office. So they're working closely. I'm glad to learn this morning that our friends from the churches are making connection and go and have some kopi, mirabos in the mosque. The food bring us together, actually.